In the gentle glow of the evening, Ella stood in the living room of her charming home, her fingers tracing the soft velvet of the couch. The room was bathed in the warm hues of sunset, with the last rays of light filtering through the sheer curtains, casting a golden glow over the space. The soft jazz playing from the record player filled the room with a soothing melody, setting the stage for what was to come. Ella, with her silver-streaked hair pulled back into a loose bun, wore a silk robe that whispered against her skin as she moved. She was in her early 50s, her eyes reflecting a lifetime of love, laughter, and longing. Tonight was special. It was Lucas's birthday, and she had planned something extraordinary. As she adjusted the candles on the coffee table, her mind wandered to the years she had spent with Lucas. They had weathered storms, celebrated triumphs, and grown together in ways she had never imagined when they first met. Now, with their children grown and their lives more settled, Ella found herself craving something new, a spark to reignite the passion that time had gently dimmed. She glanced at the clock, its ticking a steady reminder of the passing time. Lucas would be home soon, and she wanted everything to be perfect. The idea had come to her during a late-night conversation with her friend, a playful suggestion that had turned into a serious consideration. Hiring a professional for Lucas's birthday wasn't just about fulfilling a fantasy. It was about exploring new depths of their relationship, about giving and receiving in ways they had never ventured before. The decision had been a whirlwind of emotions for Ella. There was excitement, of course, but also a touch of nervousness. Would Lucas understand her intentions? Would this bring them closer or create a rift? These questions swirled in her mind as she placed a bottle of their favorite wine on the table, its label catching the light like a promise of what the night could hold. Ella took a deep breath, the scent of the candles mingling with her perfume, creating an intoxicating blend that seemed to promise adventure. She adjusted the cushions one last time, ensuring everything was just right. Tonight wasn't just about Lucas. It was about them, about their journey together, and perhaps about discovering new facets of their love. As she sat down, the silk robe shifting softly around her, Ella's heart beat with anticipation. She was ready for this, ready to step out of the observer's role and into the heart of the experience. This was more than a gift for Lucas. It was an exploration of their desires, a testament to their trust, and a celebration of their enduring love. The room, now perfectly set, awaited Lucas's arrival, and Ella awaited the unfolding of what could be one of the most memorable nights of their lives. Ella's heart fluttered as she poured herself a glass of wine, the deep red liquid swirling in the glass like the thoughts in her mind. She took a sip, the taste rich and comforting, grounding her in the moment. The decision to hire Scarlett had been made, but the reality of it was only now sinking in. She had discussed the idea with her friend Victoria over coffee a few weeks ago. Victoria, always the more adventurous one, had planted the seed. "Why not spice things up?" she had said, her eyes twinkling with mischief. "It's just a celebration of love, and trust me, it can bring you closer in ways you wouldn't expect." The conversation had lingered in Ella's mind, and the more she thought about it, the more she realized how much she wanted this, not just for Lucas, but for herself. It was about breaking boundaries, about exploring desires in the safety of their love. The next step was finding the right person. Ella had been meticulous, researching, reading reviews, and finally settling on Scarlett, a professional with a reputation for discretion and sensitivity. They had met once in a quiet cafe, where Ella outlined her hopes for the evening. Scarlett had listened, her eyes kind yet professional, assuring Ella that everything would be handled with the utmost care and respect. The logistics had been discussed over several phone calls. Ella had made it clear that this was about enhancing their connection, not replacing it. Boundaries were set, consent was paramount, and the focus was on mutual pleasure and exploration. As Ella sat in her living room, she remembered the conversation with Scarlett. "I'll make sure it's an experience you'll both remember fondly, but remember, this is your night. You're in control, Ella." The anticipation was building, not just for the physical aspect, but for the emotional journey they were about to embark on. Ella knew Lucas would be surprised, possibly shocked, but she trusted in their bond. in the unspoken understanding that had grown over the years. She glanced at the clock again, her heart skipping a beat. Lucas would be home soon. She took another sip of wine, the warmth spreading through her, calming her nerves. The room was ready, the stage set for an evening that could redefine their relationship. Ella walked over to the mirror, adjusting her hair, her reflection showing a woman both excited and slightly anxious. She whispered to herself, "This is for both of us, Lucas. Let's see where the night takes us." The doorbell rang, pulling Ella from her reverie. She took a deep breath, her hand resting on the doorknob, ready to welcome Scarlett into their home, into their lives, for what promised to be an unforgettable birthday celebration. The moment Scarlett stepped into the room, the atmosphere shifted subtly. Ella felt a mix of excitement and a flutter of nerves as she introduced Scarlett to the space that was about to become the stage for their shared experience. Scarlett, with her elegant grace and calming presence, immediately put Ella at ease. Together they moved through the house, transforming the ordinary into something extraordinary. Ella led Scarlett to the master bedroom, where the preparations had already begun. The room was draped in soft, luxurious sheets, the bed a canvas of silk and satin. Ella had chosen colors that spoke of passion, deep reds and rich purples, colors that would complement the mood of the evening. "Here's where the magic will happen," Ella said, her voice a mixture of anticipation and slight embarrassment. Scarlett smiled, her eyes scanning the room with an expert's eye. "It's perfect," Scarlett replied, her voice smooth like velvet. "Now, let's set the mood." They worked together, Ella guiding Scarlett through the house's layout, showing her where everything was kept. Scarlett adjusted the lighting, dimming the overhead lights and turning on the bedside lamps, casting a warm, intimate glow over the room. She selected a playlist of slow, sensual music, the sound filling the space with an undercurrent of excitement. Ella watched as Scarlett arranged the room, moving with a dancer's grace. She placed candles around, their light flickering and dancing, creating shadows that played across the walls. The scent of vanilla and sandalwood filled the air, mingling with the subtle hint of Ella's perfume. In the bathroom, Ella had prepared a bath with rose petals and bath salts. Scarlett added a few drops of essential oils, ensuring the water would be both soothing and invigorating. "This will be a perfect start," Scarlett said, her voice low and reassuring. Back in the bedroom, they set up a small table with wine, glasses, and a selection of chocolates. Scarlett explained, "Sometimes the simplest things can enhance the experience. A sip of wine, a taste of chocolate, it's all about indulgence tonight." Ella felt a surge of gratitude. Scarlett's professionalism was evident, but there was also a warmth, an understanding that this was about more than just physical pleasure. It was about connection, exploration, and the celebration of love. As they finished, Ella stood back, taking in the transformation. The room was now a sanctuary, a place where boundaries could be tested and desires explored. She felt a sense of empowerment, knowing she had orchestrated this for Lucas, for them. Scarlett turned to Ella, her expression soft. "How are you feeling?" she asked, her voice gentle. "Nervous, excited, a bit overwhelmed," Ella admitted, her hands smoothing the silk robe she still wore. "That's perfectly normal. Remember, this is your night. You're in control, and I'm here to facilitate your experience, not to dominate it." Ella nodded, feeling the weight of her decision lift slightly. "Thank you, Scarlett. I want this to be special for Lucas, but also for me." "It will be," Scarlett assured her. "Now let's get you ready. The anticipation is part of the journey." Ella moved to the vanity, her reflection showing a woman on the cusp of an adventure. Scarlett helped her with her hair, letting it fall in soft waves around her shoulders, and applied a touch of makeup, enhancing Ella's natural beauty rather than masking it. As they worked, Ella's nervousness gave way to a growing sense of anticipation. This was more than just a birthday surprise. It was a step into uncharted territory, a testament to their love and trust. With every touch, every adjustment, the room and Ella herself were being prepared for a night that could redefine their relationship. The sound of Lucas's key in the lock sent a jolt of excitement through Ella. Her heart raced as she took one last look around the room, ensuring everything was in place. Scarlett had slipped into the shadows, her presence a comforting whisper of what was to come. Ella moved to the hallway, her silk robe whispering against her skin as she walked. She opened the door, her smile bright as she greeted Lucas. "Happy birthday, my love," she said, her voice warm and inviting. Lucas stepped inside, his eyes immediately drawn to Ella's radiant appearance. He pulled her into an embrace, the scent of her perfume mingling with the anticipation in the air. "You look stunning," he murmured, his voice filled with affection. "What's all this?" Ella took his hand, leading him into the living room where the candles cast a soft glow. "I have a surprise for you," she said, her voice a mix of excitement and slight nervousness. "But first, let's have a drink." When they sat on the couch, Ella pouring Lucas a glass of wine. As they clinked glasses, she watched his face, the lines of his age softened by the candlelight, his eyes curious yet content. "I've planned something special for us tonight," she began, her hand resting on his knee. Lucas raised an eyebrow, his smile playful. "Oh, you've piqued my interest." Ella took a deep breath, her heart pounding in her chest. "I've invited someone to join us. Someone to enhance our experience, to celebrate your birthday in a way we've never done before." There was a pause, Lucas's expression shifting from surprise to intrigue. "Someone?" he echoed, his voice a mix of curiosity and caution. "Yes, a professional. Her name is Scarlett," Ella explained, watching his face closely. "She's here to help us explore, to make tonight memorable." Lucas took a moment, his gaze drifting to the flickering candles, then back to Ella. "You've thought this through?" he asked, his tone gentle, searching for reassurance. "I have," Ella replied, her voice firm yet filled with affection. "This isn't just for you, it's for us. It's about trust, about exploring our desires together." Lucas reached for her hand, squeezing it lightly. "I trust you, Ella. If this is what you want, if it's what we need, then I'm with you." The tension Ella hadn't realized she was holding melted away at his words. She leaned in, kissing him softly. "I love you," she whispered against his lips. The doorbell rang again, a soft chime that felt like a signal for the evening to truly begin. Ella stood, her hand in Lucas's, and together they walked to the door. She opened it, revealing Scarlett, who stepped inside with a grace that seemed to fit perfectly into the evening's ambiance. "Lucas, this is Scarlett," Ella introduced, her voice steady. Scarlett extended her hand, her smile warm yet professional. "Happy birthday, Lucas. Ella has told me so much about you. I'm here to make sure this evening is everything you both hope for." Lucas shook her hand, his initial surprise giving way to a polite nod. "Thank you, Scarlett. I'm intrigued." Ella felt a wave of relief and excitement. The decision had been made, the preparations complete, and now, with Lucas's consent, the night was theirs to explore. She led them back to the living room, where the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. As they settled, Scarlett took a moment to explain the boundaries, the focus on mutual pleasure and respect. "This evening is about all of us, about celebrating love and desire in a safe, consensual space," she said, her voice calm and reassuring. Lucas listened, his hand finding Ella's, their fingers intertwining. The room, bathed in the soft glow of candles, felt like a cocoon, a space where they could venture into new territories of their relationship. Ella's heart swelled with love and the thrill of the unknown, ready to embark on this journey with Lucas, guided by Scarlett's expertise. The room was a symphony of senses, the air thick with anticipation. Scarlett's presence was both a catalyst and a guide, her voice soothing and instructive as she helped set the stage for what was to come. Ella and Lucas, hand in hand, felt the weight of the moment, the promise of exploration and connection. Scarlett began by suggesting they start with a bath, a ritual to cleanse not just their bodies but their minds, preparing them for the intimacy ahead. Ella led Lucas to this bathroom, where the water was warm, rose petals floating on the surface, and the scent of essential oils filled the air. As they undressed, there was a moment of vulnerability, a shared glance between Ella and Lucas that spoke of trust and love. Scarlett, ever the professional, gave them space, her presence a gentle reminder of the evening's purpose. The bath was an oasis of calm. Ella and Lucas sank into the water, the warmth enveloping them, their bodies close, the tension of the day melting away. Scarlett's voice was a soft murmur, guiding them through breathing exercises, encouraging them to connect not just physically, but emotionally. After the bath, they moved back to the bedroom, the silk sheets cool against their skin. Scarlett had prepared a massage table, the room now filled with the scent of massage oils. "Let's start with relaxation," she suggested, her hands skilled and sure as she began to work on Lucas, easing the knots of tension from his muscles. Ella watched, a mix of awe and desire building within her. She joined in, her hands moving in tandem with Scarlett's, the three of them creating a dance of touch. The room was filled with the sound of soft music, the occasional sigh or moan of pleasure, the atmosphere one of mutual exploration. As the massage transitioned into something more intimate, Scarlett stepped back, allowing Ella and Lucas to take the lead. The boundaries set earlier were respected, the focus on mutual consent and pleasure. Ella felt empowered, guiding Lucas through sensations, their connection deepening with each touch. The evening unfolded in a series of moments, each one building upon the last. Scarlett's presence was like a conductor, ensuring the rhythm of the night flowed smoothly. She would occasionally join in, her touch expert and sensitive, always with the aim to enhance, not to dominate. They moved from the massage to the bed, the silk sheets now a stage for their desires. The room was a cocoon, the outside world forgotten, their focus solely on each other and the journey they were on. Scarlett's guidance was subtle, her voice a whisper, her actions a dance of seduction and care. Ella felt a profound sense of freedom, her initial nervousness replaced by a deep connection with Lucas. They explored, laughed, whispered, and moaned, the boundaries of their love expanding. Scarlett's presence was like a mirror, reflecting back their desires, helping them navigate the uncharted waters of their relationship. As the night deepened, the candles burned lower, casting shadows that danced with their movements. The experience was not just about physical pleasure, but about the emotional journey, the trust, and the unspoken understanding that grew between Ella and Lucas. In the quiet moments that followed as they lay together, Scarlett excused herself, leaving them in the afterglow of their shared experience. Ella turned to Lucas, her hand on his chest, feeling the rhythm of his heartbeat. "How do you feel?" she asked, her voice a whisper. Lucas pulled her closer, his lips finding hers in a kiss that spoke of love and gratitude. "I feel closer to you, Ella. This was unexpected, but beautiful." Ella smiled, a tear of joy escaping. "I wanted to give you something special, something we could share." "And you did," Lucas replied, his voice filled with emotion. "Thank you for trusting me, for trusting us." In the silence that followed, they held each other, the night's adventure having brought them to a new level of intimacy. Scarlett's role had been pivotal, but it was Ella and Lucas who had truly embarked on this journey together, their love the guiding star through the exploration of their desires. The morning light filtered through the curtains, casting a soft glow over the room where Ella and Lucas lay entwined. The night's journey had left them both in a state of serene exhaustion, their bodies and minds still resonating with the echoes of their shared experience. Ella stirred first, her eyes opening to find Lucas watching her, a tender smile on his lips. "Morning," he whispered, his voice hoarse from sleep. "Morning," Ella replied, her hand reaching to trace the lines of his face. "How are you feeling?" Lucas took a moment, his gaze drifting to the ceiling before returning to meet hers. "I feel different, closer to you. It's like we've shared something profound, something beyond just the physical." Ella nodded, understanding the depth of his words. "I felt it too. It was more than I expected, in the best way." They lay in silence for a while, the weight of their experience settling around them like a comforting blanket. Scarlett had left quietly in the early hours, her role complete, leaving behind a note of gratitude and a reminder to take care of each other. As they got up, moving through the morning rituals, there was a new ease between them, a sense of having crossed a bridge together. Over breakfast, Lucas reached for Ella's hand, his touch gentle. "Thank you, Ella, for last night, for everything." Ella smiled, squeezing his hand. "I wanted it to be special. I wanted us to grow together, to explore." "And we did," Lucas agreed. "But it's not just about last night. It's about what it means for us moving forward." The conversation turned reflective as they discussed what the experience had revealed about their desires, their fears, and their love. They talked about boundaries, consent, and the importance of communication, lessons learned not just for the bedroom but for their relationship as a whole. Ella mentioned how Scarlett's presence had been a catalyst, not just for physical exploration, but for emotional growth. "She helped us see parts of ourselves we might not have acknowledged before," she said, her voice thoughtful. Lucas nodded, his expression serious. "It was like she held up a mirror to our relationship, showing us what could be, what we could become together." The day unfolded with a newfound intimacy, their interactions infused with a deeper understanding. They walked hand in hand through the park, their conversation touching on dreams and aspirations, the future now seeming brighter, more vibrant. As evening approached, they returned home, the house still carrying the subtle sense of the night before. They decided to recreate a part of the experience, not with the intensity of the previous night, but as a gentle reminder of their journey. In the bath, they sat together, the water warm and soothing, their bodies close. "I want to keep exploring with you," Ella said, her head resting on Lucas's shoulder. "Not just physically, but in every way. I want to know every part of you." Lucas kissed her forehead, his arms wrapping around her. "And I want to know every part of you, Ella. Last night was just the beginning." They talked about the future, about how they would continue to nurture their relationship, ensuring it remained a space of safety, exploration, and growth. The experience had opened doors, not just to new desires, but to a deeper level of communication and trust. As they dried off and dressed, Ella turned to Lucas, her eyes shining with love. "I'm so glad we did this. It's made us stronger." Lucas pulled her into an embrace, his voice filled with emotion. "It's made us more us. Thank you for trusting me, for trusting us." That night, as they lay in bed, Ella felt a profound sense of peace. The journey they had embarked upon was ongoing, but she knew with Lucas by her side, they could face anything, explore anything, and grow together in ways they had never imagined.